The party finds the outer gates of Tor Varden sparsely defended. It would seem only the Shadow Deep's sleepiest warriors could be convinced to take on this boring duty. Simon and company easily stealth their way to the main tower, though Guardsman Russell looks uneasy.
2 weeks ago, Constable Rains arrived at the tower. The bastard kept changing our patrols like he was trying to wear us out. A week later, a curse rolled in and put a whammy on half the men, and then the gnolls showed up. I only got out of there thanks to Captain Baker. They sent me to get help, and I found you.
The tower emanates a wicked aura that stops Simon in his tracks. A sickening curse lingers in the air. Something is waiting up there besides the gnolls. Xerxes places a heavy paw on Simon's shoulder.
Steady on, Captain. No way left but through.
With their rogue deceased, it falls on Simon to bypass the locks. Thankfully, their enemies did not bother to bolster the door in any meaningful way. It opens to a room repurposed into some kind of wicked makeshift temple. In the middle of the room stands an especially evil gnoll shaman. Before her lies some malformed mass covered by a stained sheet. It writhes slightly as the shaman screams her wicked incantations. The fighters enter the room and brandish their weapons. They will have to clear this room quickly or risk the whole fortress noticing them.
You boys showed up a bit late.
After firing a steady shot, Simon moves deeper into the room. Xerxes and Russell move in to get the jump on one of the gnoll soldiers. The enemy tries to swing on Xerxes, but takes a wound instead. The other soldier rushes over to engage Simon, and the shaman brandishes her poisoned blade and leaps on Xerxes.
I'll get you, dogman!
Xerxes responds with a brutal parry. As Simon holds his opponent's attention, Cody rushes in and lands a finishing blow. Sal and the remaining party members enter the room and try their best to assess the situation. Simon and Cody run up to surround the remaining gnoll. Simon absorbs some significant damage distracting the creature, but it's enough to allow Cody to land another mortal wound. Simon attempts to downplay his injury as he gives Cody a weak thumbs up. Luckily, Dana comes to his rescue, tossing him a health potion. The room now empty, Sal and Vaughn cautiously approach the thing under the sheet. Sal lifts a corner with the end of her stave, but carefully lowers it back down immediately. She offers a few simple prayers as Vaughn puts the thing out of its misery. Confident that no alarms were raised, the party takes a moment to compose themselves before opening the next door. They find a storage room, with enemies goofing off all about, and several valuable items the party could salvage. Just before the gnolls notice our intruders, Simon swears he can hear the sounds of a conflict in the other room. Someone is still alive and fighting. Simon fires a hasty shot as he enters the room, but it hits a wall and his target doesn't notice. Xerxes and Russell once again go with the time-tested strategy. A barrage of very specific and targeted insults. Their enemy takes the bait and runs up. Insults lead to injury as sticks and stones shatter him completely. The two gnolls with eyes on Cody move in to flank him, and one remaining cowardly gnoll decides to guard the treasure. This cowardice cannot save him from Sal's holy beam attack, which incinerates him. Cody rushes in, hoping to maintain his momentum. Something is different about this gnoll. He parries his attack and slashes him. This fighter seems to have more battle scars than is typical. He grins maliciously as Vaughn moves in to help. The fighter stabs Vaughn in the gut and kicks him away. The Arcanist tumbles across the floor in a bloody heap. Dana sees Cody in trouble and moves in to distract. Simon's training kicks in as he rolls away from his target and fires a point-blank shot, downing the extra enemy. He then jumps the veteran Knoll. He signals Cody, and in a desperate move, they grab both of the opponent's arms so Dana can apply a fatal bonk on the head. Cody is the one to give a pained thumbs up this time. With another room cleared, Dana props up what's left of Vaughn against the wall, and she and Sal search for anything that could be of use. Simon, Russell, and Xerxes impatiently hurry towards the door and prepare for one more skirmish as Cody limps behind. Simon leaps into a makeshift dungeon. In the center of the chamber, looking significantly worse for wear, is Captain Baker. She swings a broken table leg at a Knoll sergeant. Another Knoll is in the back, taunting some experienced-looking prisoners. And a third Knoll is almost upon Simon before he can even react. The blind shot doesn't hit anything, but it does make the enemy hesitate. Ever reliable, Xerxes and Russell leap ahead and pummel the Knoll into oblivion.
Captain, I found help!
Captain Baker's makeshift weapon shatters as she takes a hit from the sergeant's polearm, followed by a surprise attack from the sadistic guard. Her vision fades, but she somehow wills herself to keep standing. Sal rushes into the room and passes an extra sword to Simon.
She needs a sword and a healer, in that order.
Simon, Russell, and Xerxes set upon the sergeant. Simon presses the extra sword into Captain Baker's grip, and she rallies and hardens her stance. Xerxes strikes first, but the sergeant knocks his mace away. She locks eyes with him for a moment. Russell shoves the sergeant out of the circle. Simon follows up with another attempt at a point-blank shot, but in the heat of battle he is unable to properly nock an arrow. The jailer attempts a finishing strike, but Captain Baker parries it with her new sword. The sergeant turns on Xerxes.
I remember you, Dogman. I remember your brothers I killed.
She lifts her polearm, but Simon knocks it away as Xerxes permanently silences another foe. Captain Baker manages to limp back to Dana, who immediately starts administering first aid, and Sal takes a defensive stance. The remaining Knoll begins to quake, fur standing on end, unsteady breath. From his claw drops an empty black vial that shatters on the stone. Simon and company move in to put an end to this. The Berserk Knoll leaps on Xerxes and chomps his shoulder with razor-sharp teeth, then turns and slashes Russell across the chest. Simon attempts to intervene and receives a clawed kick to the shin that brings him down to a knee. Black liquid begins pouring out of the creature's open mouth as it turns to kill Xerxes, but the veteran matches his tempo and at last strikes him dead. As the three catch their breath on the cool stone floor, Xerxes silently stares at the dead gnolls scattered across the room. That sergeant knew him well enough to hate him, but he didn't remember her at all. By some miracle, Dana is able to locate an infirmary just up the stairs. She patches everyone up as best she can, including Vaughn, who in spite of significant blood loss, looks more or less as gaunt as he usually does. The prisoners rejoice at having been rescued, though nobody is quite sure who they are or how they got there. Russell insists that they weren't guards. Hidden in the storage room, Sal was able to discover a blessed stave, a holy relic that will no doubt come in handy soon. In spite of this small reprieve, Captain Baker is anxious to get to the top of the tower. Something evil is still afoot, and one of her men is still in danger. Simon agrees to assist and reclaim Tor Varden if they can. Deep down, he fears Baker may kill him if he were to refuse. No way left but through.